Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopschool.com. Thank you.
And the user that we want to connect as. So I want to connect as root on this particular target machine name. Yeah. If I press enter, first of all, I need to be sure that this machine is something which I identify. So I'll say yes, this machine I know. And here it says uh, access is denied, permission denied, public key. Now this is very specific to EC2 instances. EC2 instances don't allow username based logins. As you can see, when you create an EC2 instance, you have to check that box where it says that I understand I will be using SSH keys to log in. Yeah, so you cannot log in using um, password on the root account. But let's see if we can mhm, connect to another account. So an account called Ubuntu is also here. The current password is not available. Just 1 second. Okay, so I updated the password here. Now let me try to connect as SSH as user Ubuntu. Okay, this is also not allowed. I think complete SSH is disabled here, although we can remove that restriction, but SSH is disabled for password based authentication. But this is how we do it. Yeah, we do SSH username at machine name, and then it connects and then it asks for password. I will give my password here itself. Yeah, and then we will be connected to the remote shell. Unfortunately, in EC2 instances, this is disabled. So let's try the with password one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a key pair. I will share the documentation with you later also. So I'm going to generate a key pair. So SSH Keygen is something which I will do. And here it says it is generating a public private key pair, and the private key and public key will be stored here. This is the default directory where SSH stores all its data. So I will just press enter. I will not add any data. I will not do anything else. Just press enter and key generation is done. Okay, if I list down files in this, I see that there are two keys created. One is id_rsa, one is id_rsa.pub. Now these keys will be used now for authentication. So as I mentioned, either you can use username password or public private key pair. So we will use key pair now. So this is the public part of the key, which is non-secure and you can distribute it to anyone. This is not a secret. Anybody, any system which has to understand you, your authentication or your identity should first have your public key, right? The private key is your identity. This is secret. This should not be shared with anyone. All right. So let's print the public key. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this public key to a file on the remote server. There is a folder .ssh there as well. And then there is a file called authorized keys. This file contains all the public keys which are authorized to log into this system. So this is a one-time activity which we have to do for each key. So I'm going to open this file, and there is one key already added. And now I'm going to add this key as well. Okay, so whenever authentication will happen using the private key which is associated with this public key, the authentication should be successful. So now we have informed the target system about our public key. And now let's do SSH. And just like that, we are now connected to the remote machine. Right? So here you can see we were on machine 199, and then we tried to SSH, and now we are on machine 247, which is same as 247. Now this terminal is exactly same as this terminal. Right? So this is how you can set up SSH. So SSH is for securely connecting to remote shells. Right? And we just now implemented a passwordless SSH. So we did not now need to give any username password. So passwordless SSH is mandatory or kind of required for Ansible. Although you can live with it, but then you have to find ways to provide your passwords.
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Okay, so yeah, this is how you can implement passwordless SSH. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now passwordless SSH is done. Now let's install Ansible on this. Okay. Okay. Let me see how to install. There should be quick guide.
So you will be installing this on the server, right?
On the server, yes. So I'm going to install Ansible. Yeah. And because we are on Ubuntu, we will just go to the directive for Ubuntu. Should be pretty easy. As you can see, here are just the 4 commands that we need to execute. So first we will update our package list. Yes, so we are on the server here. Apt update is going to update our package list. Now we are going to install.
Is Ansible open source?
Ansible. Good question. So Ansible is actually available for free. I'm not sure if it is open source, but it is available for free. So there is a community edition available for free. But it lacks quite a bit in feature set. So there is also an enterprise edition available for purchase. But for beginners and for companies who are just starting with Ansible for learning, the community edition is fine, which is the free one.
Amit, when you install on Amazon Linux, apt update will not work. No? So is it the install Ansible?
Yes. So if you're running Amazon Linux, I'm not sure if it is based on CentOS or it is based on which distribution. Yeah, but you can see here if it is based on CentOS, then you can follow the CentOS wala guide. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can check it out. Let's launch instance. And if I say Amazon Linux, we have to really see.
Okay.
This is RHEL. Yeah, so yes, yum should work.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it is based on RHEL, so yum should work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So you can just see this RHEL based installation guide and run these commands here.
Okay.
Yeah, should be okay. All right, so I'm just continuing with the commands. So after the installation, we'll take a quick break and then we'll continue. Okay, I'm adding the repository which has information about Ansible packages. All right, where is the guide? And then let's just say apt install Ansible. So Ansible is written in Python. Yeah, so that is why when you install Ansible, there is a prerequisite that Python libraries should be available. And you can see Ansible is installing a lot of Python 3 libraries. Yeah. Let's give it some time. Okay, so looks like Ansible is installed. I'll just run command Ansible. It should give me some output, right? If we say Ansible -- version, this will give me some output. So Ansible install version is 296, and it also installed Python 385. So we are good to go with Ansible. So now we need to just work on how to use Ansible. Okay, installation is done. So we need to install Ansible only on one server, which is the Ansible server. But one prerequisite is that we need to have passwordless SSH available for all the hosts that it is going to manage. So we have also set up the passwordless SSH. So now,
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So Amit, this Ansible
yes.
can only be used on the Unix systems. I mean, or only on the Linux systems, not on the Windows.
So Ansible can be installed. The server can be installed only on the Unix system. The server can be only Linux. Yeah. But the machines it manages, they can be Linux or Windows or Macs also.
Oh, okay.
But installation is only, this server is only possible for Linux.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So how Ansible works? Just a brief introduction and then we see the demonstration. So here,
I have a quick question actually.
yes,
Suppose Linux is a server. Can we connect from the server to Windows machine?
this is not related to Ansible, right?
Yeah, it's not related to Ansible, but in the enterprise environment, actually we have actually that Linux machine. Client machine is the window machine. Can we connect that one actually? Can we connect and access the data from the server to client?
So if you want to share data between server to between Linux servers to Windows clients, you can do that. Either you can use secure copy. Yeah, so this is using maybe you can use something called WinSCP.
Oh, WinSCP. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So this is to have secure copy between client and remote, or you can use a shared file storage.
Files. Okay.
So you can mount both file storages on Windows and Linux and then use them.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
pretty
it.
common problem in the enterprise environment. Okay, so let's talk about how Ansible works. Yeah, we talked about that we have one server, right? And we can manage multiple hosts, right? So what happens is the server has all these configurations files, right? As I mentioned, all the infrastructure configurations are written as piece of code. So all these configurations, all the intelligence is available on the server. So these files are on the server, and these files or these configurations is pushed out to the host, right? How it is done? Ansible will understand these configurations, and it will also understand how these configurations have to be applied on the host. Okay, for example, one configuration can say that a user demo should be created on our host, or one configuration can say that file /etc/data.txt should be created on our host, right? So these are the requirements or the configurations that are to be applied on our host. Now the server will read these configurations and identify a way to do that. Okay, and then we'll apply all these configurations on the host via SSH. Okay, so what happens is any configuration that has to be applied is applied using something called a module. Okay, maybe I should explain to you the architecture first. Then I should go and talk about these things. Just give me 1 second. Let me. Yes. Yeah. Can you see my Paint application? I just copied over.
Yes, Amit, we are able to see. Yeah.
Yeah, able to
Okay,
see.
here. All right. So let's talk about the architecture first. So as I said, there is an Ansible server, and Ansible server manages hosts, right? Now, what is there in this Ansible server that we will see? Yeah, maybe I'll use my pen. So Ansible server has lot of components. It has lot of components. The main component or the primary basic component that we are going to understand is the modules. So modules are small programs or small binaries or executables which perform some very small tasks. For example, installation of a package, creation of a file, creation of a user, deletion of a user, right? These small tasks can be performed using something called a module. Okay, so Ansible comes with lot of modules, right? Then we have something called inventory. Okay, inventory is a list of systems which Ansible manages. Yeah, so in this diagram, in this server here, Ansible should know that it has to manage this host, right? So this host will be present in the inventory inside the server. So we have to manage something called an inventory. Inventory is nothing but a list of servers which are managed by Ansible. Then we have something called APIs and plugins, which we will not see in our class, but these are APIs are, as you already know, endpoints which you can write custom clients and access uh, uh, access Ansible services. Plugins are enhancements for Ansible. So these two things we will not see much here. So these are the major components. Okay. Now what users do? Users are the people who use Ansible to manage their infrastructure. So users will write a playbook or the configuration file which stores all the directives or configurations which have to be applied on the server. Now these configuration files are read by Ansible, and it uses inventory and modules and the plugins and APIs to understand what configurations should be applied on the host. And after understanding that, it is going to apply the configurations on the host. Okay, so users write playbooks. Playbooks are understood by Ansible. It uses modules and inventories to understand what has to be done and then applies those to hosts or to other networking devices, right? Ansible can also integrate very well with cloud. So you can manage your EC2 instances also. Ansible can also import external configuration management databases. So instead of writing your own inventory, you can import from your configuration management DB or your enterprise DB of your servers. So we will not see this in our class. This is an advanced topic. We will not see this in our class. We don't have enough time. We will not see this and this. We are going to concentrate on playbooks and inventories a little bit, modules, and the host applications. Yeah, so we are going to do that. So now let's do that. So these resources are managed and then they are applied on the host. So now let's talk about modules. Okay, modules are small utilities or essentially binaries which are used to perform certain actions on hosts. Okay, we will see an example. For example, here, if you want to create a user, we use a user module. If you want to manage a file, we use a file module. If you want to install a package on a Ubuntu machine, then we use an apt module. Yeah, so I'll just show you how modules are used. Let's connect to here. Okay. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to tell our Ansible server which host to manage. Okay, and that is done using, any idea? Where do we have the list of hosts?
Hey viewers, our Master in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
etc host.
So yes, so it is called inventory, right? etc Ansible host. This is the inventory file. As I mentioned, inventory is a list of hosts that you want to manage, right? So this is available in etc Ansible hosts, and here we can just specify our systems that we want to manage. So for example, I would like to manage a system which is our target system here, right? This system. So I want to manage this system, and I specify the name of this system. Yeah, and that system will now can be understood by Ansible that it has to manage this system. Okay, let's save this and let's run some modules on this. Okay, now Ansible knows that this is part of our inventory. I will say Ansible, which module I need to use. I can say I want to use a module called ping. Yeah, but on which machine? So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to run an ad hoc command. Okay, this is not going in our playbooks or in any configuration files. I'm running this command to perform certain small ad hoc tasks using modules. So I'm saying, hey Ansible, for this particular machine in the inventory, run this particular module. Now this module will only get out some information about the system of this target system. So this module will say, hey, it will contact it, and it will say that for ping I received a message pong. That means this machine is connecting. Okay, so we can run simple ad hoc commands which are just certain configurations that we want to make quickly. Okay, now let's write some serious so here we use package called apt. Okay, and we are using package apt. That means we want to manage, or we are using a module called apt because we want to manage a package, for example, on the target system. So just to demonstrate that on the target system here, let's try something. Let's try an application called Finger. If I try to access this, I get an error that Finger application is not found. Now I need to install this application Finger, right? If I don't have access to this system, if I cannot log into the system, but if it is a host, if it is an Ansible host, I can run this module command and install Finger. Right? So I can just say use module apt and install a package named Finger. Okay, let's press enter. It gives me, it says name is equal to Finger is not recognized. No package matching Finger is available. Okay, this is strange. Ah, yes, because we never did apt update on the target machine. So what I said Ansible, On this particular host, use the module apt and install a package finger. Press enter. It may take some time. And done. And you get a lot of output here. Right? At the end of it, if on my target machine, if I run command finger, I will see that this particular package is now installed.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.